guys, so as BookTube-A-Thon is coming up fairly soon, in a few days I guess, and because I'm participating in BookTube-A-Thon, I thought it would be only right to show you my TBR. And if you don't know what the BookTube-A-Thon is, you guys can go to the official BookTube-A-Thon channel, which I will link here or down in the down bar, and you guys can check it out and see what it's all about. I personally chose to make my to be read around the challenges, so let's get talking about them. Number 1, read a book with blue on the cover, and for this book I have chosen to read The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. As you can see, it's very blue. And basically this is about a middle-aged man who goes back to his childhood neighborhood to attend a funeral, and whilst there he goes to this farm and he remembers that he met a girl named Letty when he was really young and when Letty was 7, and he remembers a lot of his past, and this book basically explores that. The synopsis doesn't give away much, but from what I gathered, it's a very interesting book, and it's quite short too, so that's perfect for the BookTube-A-Thon. Number 2 is to read a book by an author who shares the first last name of my last name, and my last name starts with an H, so for this challenge I'll be reading Confess by Colleen Hoover. I've heard a lot of great things but then not so great things about Colleen Hoover, and I've heard that sometimes there are some elements in it that some people might not enjoy, so this is my first time reading Colleen Hoover and I hope I will enjoy this book. Number 3, read someone else's favorite book, and for this one I'm reading All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is actually one of my friends' favorite books of all time, so I really hope I will get around to reading this because she has spoken really highly of it and she's completely sold it to me from what she's told me. And I think this is like 2 separate stories at the beginning of like 2 separate people whose lives are not connected whatsoever, but then as the story progresses on, the 2 main characters meet and their lives kind of mold together, I guess, and one of the characters is blind. Also seems to be set during the Holocaust. So that is that, and it's really thick. It is thick. It's 500 pages long. Oh god. This is not gonna end well. Number 4, read the last book you bought, and that is also All the Light We Cannot See because we can double up challenges, as I think, because my friend convinced me to buy it. 5 is not quite so much a challenge which you have to pick a book for, but something that you must complete during the BookTube-A-Thon, and that challenge is to read a book without letting go of it or read it in one sitting. So I have picked out a thin graphic novel that I'm hoping to read for this challenge, and that book is not in the room, hang on, is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. It's essentially 5 short stories combined into one book graphic novel. I had to flip through it when I got it because I just couldn't resist myself, and from what I can see, the pictures are beautiful. They're hauntingly beautiful, and I'm really excited, and since it's a graphic novel, I think I'll be able to whiz through it in no time. I actually think this would be quite a good read for the winter months or when it's getting colder because it's supposed to be like a horror graphic novel, but I just can't wait any longer. This is a 6. Let's just assume it's a 6. Read a book that you really wanted to read but you haven't gotten around to it yet. And for this one, I will be picking up The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I have heard great things about Patrick Ness and his writing, and since everyone seems to love it so much, I have been intrigued. So I think I'm going to get to it at BookTube-A-Thon, definitely. And for number 7, it is to read 7 books. And since I only have 5, I just threw in 2 more. I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab and Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. First of all, both gorgeous covers. Simon versus the Homo Sapiens agenda was completely sold to me by Little Book Owl, who did a review on it, so I thought that I would also pick it up. And it's basically about this homosexual guy named Simon who's trying to keep his sexual identity a secret. And from what I've heard, it's a very fluffy contemporary, nothing too serious, so that should be perfect for a BookTube-A-Thon. And Vicious is a fantasy novel that follows the story of two guys, Victor and Eli, and 10 years ago they were friends. 10 years after, they're trying to kill each other. That's how I would sum up the synopsis on the back. With a bunch of superhero abilities and experiments gone wrong, near-death experiences, sidekicks. That is really interesting, and I have not picked up a fantasy novel in a really long time. So these are my reads for BookTube-A-Thon 2015. I've been kind of slacking on my reading for the past few weeks, and I've only read like 1 or 2 books, so I'm hoping that the BookTube-A-Thon can help me get into the swing of things again. And I know that I might not get to finish all of these 7 books at once because look at it, but I'm hoping to get through as many as I can. So that is it for today, and I will see you guys with an update video next time. Bye guys. This is heavy. How do people do this? These are my oh my god! Oh no. That turned out great.